Hey everybody, long time. I gotta make this brief comment about this news post right here.
The Justice Department is expanding background checks for anyone who buys firearms at gun shows or online. Republicans vowing to block that change. The new rule comes from the bipartisan Safer Communities Act. Congress passed that after the 2022 shooting at Robb Elementary in Uvalde.
Okay, that's actually a good deed. Let me turn this off, sorry. That's actually a good deed, you know, and I think it's the least that we can do for people who get guns within a day. And in case you don't remember, the Robb Elementary School shooting, which took place in 2022, or was it 2020? I can't remember when. What I do remember is, 19 kids died, elementary school kids, and 2 teachers by one 18-year-old who ordered 2 AR-15s and got it shipped to him in a day on his 18th birthday. Okay, so now we got this rule that background checks are going to be done on people that want to buy a gun at a gun show because no background checks are being done. And there's a problem from the Republicans, even here in Texas, by our leaders.
Requires more than 20,000 unlicensed gun sellers to now run background checks. Lead Republicans on that legislation say the new rules simply go too far.
We were bipartisan. They're bipartisan hacks, and it will be used as an example of why they don't trust an administration to do it in the future. It'll take 20 years to recover from this crap.
Okay, that is about as stupid of an accusation as it comes, okay? First off, any kind of mess can't be predicted as to how much of a cleanup. That guy was just dumb. I don't know who he was. The news didn't post his name, I don't think. I really wasn't paying attention to his name. Mostly because I was looking down at the notes of what he was saying. You know, this is the reason why we don't trust an administration. Technically, it would be a huge reason to trust the administration. Because it means that this kind of stuff, which is supposed to be meant for home defense, is not falling in the hands of some douchebag that can't pass a psych exam that says he's a freaking nut. You understand? 9/11 is proof of this. I've said this before. 9/11 is proof of this. Guys that went to flight school and learned everything about the engines, about the planes, about aerodynamics and all this good stuff. Learned everything about the controls inside the jet. Learned everything how to take off and how to hold her steady and fly it and all this stuff. But snuffed and brushed off the part of the classes, the lessons on how to land it. Now, because of this 9/11 thing where the terrorists revealed their method, now anybody that doesn't learn how to land a plane is going to raise warning signs, warning flags for national security. Okay, and a lot of people are thinking that's still stupid because all they have to do is just carry out their class and then they can go fly a plane into a building. True, but I don't know if you've noticed or not. 20 plus years later, no terrorist has actually done that. The reason for it is because it takes too much damn time. By the time, and now to top it all off, by the time somebody does a flight school, everybody under the sun knows who he is. Okay? Anybody applies for flight school, the entire government knows who he is. Every department, every agency, security agency, and all this good stuff. That's the reason why for the past 20 years and change, we haven't seen an attack like this since 9/11. Now revert that very same analogy to this subject concerning rules and regulations and background checks, criminal, psychological background checks, and to think that it's not going to work and that it's going to set everything back, it's going to ruin, I don't understand, to make a mess of everything. It's going to take 20 years to do this. First off, the bill hasn't even passed, okay? It's been made up, but nobody up in the government has voted on it yet. So whatever mess this guy's talking about is just total bullcrap, okay? It doesn't make any sense. To top it all off, which technically it shouldn't make any sense, the thing to see out of that is just some dude that's just being a bitch, okay? He's just being a bitch for either because he believes that it's the wrong thing, or he's just a lazy bitch that doesn't want to do any work. Okay, you're supposed to go to Congress. You're supposed to make your vote. You're supposed to plead your case and all this good stuff. That guy just looked like he just wanted a bitch. Okay, it's going to take 20 years and all this other bullshit. Look, I'm sorry, man.
Of what?
Look, I'm sorry. Somebody like that is just being a bitch, a lazy bitch, to top it all off. If everybody was to actually stand up and say, let's have these background checks and criminal checks and, psychological checks, insanity check. Okay, let's have some sanity tests out there. I bet you $1 million this guy wouldn't even be complaining. He'd be all for it. And he'd be saying you can't trust the administration because this should have been done sooner. And it sounds kind of stupid, but that's how it works with these guys. It's going to take 20 years to clean this stuff up. That is the most idiotic defense so far. Outside of, why? Regulations is not going to stop the criminals anyway. Nobody says that it's going to stop the criminals. It is, however, going to be a pain in the ass for the criminals that want to commit crimes. Okay? That very same guy in Uvalde, Texas, that Ramos kid, he was already posting on the internet that he's going to start killing people as soon as his guns come in from the mail. Okay? Ramos posted that on the internet. A year later, his brother posted that. And then about a week and a half later, his brother's girlfriend posted that. But his brother's girlfriend took it the next level and said she was going to shoot up an elementary school also. Without these regulations and these psychological tests and checks, without the background checks, the criminal checks, okay? Without that stuff delaying time, the law enforcement can't predict or see when a criminal is going to do something so horrible. They can now because of the postings on the internet, but it doesn't hurt to have psych exams, background checks, criminal background checks to see as to whether or not the consumer should even have a gun, be anywhere near a gun, should even be looking at a gun. It's only common sense. So this silly fool who's complaining about a bill that, once again, hasn't even made it to Congress yet for him to vote on, is making this wild claim about anti-American and destruction of America and all this other crap. And that it's this huge waste of time and a big, big mess.
They don't trust an administration to do it in the future. It'll take 20 years to recover from this crap.
20 years to recover from this crap. Idiot. Okay? And anybody that follows that crap is just as stupid. Okay? And that's not just my saying. That's a fact. I mean, it is my opinion, but it's a proven fact. A law that isn't even put into place hasn't done any damage, much less will it, because all it does is just slow down the criminals with the intent to kill, in this case, kill children. You know, is not a mess. It's the right thing to do. Anyway, that's what I had to say, and that's why I'm, rooting for all gun reform, any kind of gun reform right now. But it just really needs to be straightened out. I want an AR-15. I don't want a dickhead douchebag that's ready to kill children to have one of those. That's not cool. Plain and simple. Gun reform, people. Gun reform. I want an AK-47. I don't want some dickhead that wants to murder children or anybody of a different skin color or a different gender or a different feels like gender. I don't want anybody to go killing them. Or to top it all off, I don't even want somebody with a feels like gender to own that thing. Y'all remember over in the East where a Christian school got shot up by a gay guy that was an actual woman. And that the noise that you're hearing in the background is a cat calling for attention. So I'll get to that. I don't want some loony gay kid to be shooting up a Christian school, because technically it's not so much the school that's causing problems through religious hate. It's religious organizations that are doing that. Okay? It's religious organizations that are grouping together and banding together and rallying and all this other garbage, to where eventually there's going to be another abortionist doctor getting shot by another Christian, by a fellow Christian. Okay? That hasn't happened since the 80s. I get that. But nevertheless, it's just a matter of time before that dickhead who's ready to kill a doctor simply because he's performed an abortion, that guy can get a gun right now. No differently than that gay kid that hated the Christians, who are being fed all this crap that it's okay to kill people who are not one of their religious viewpoint or religious aspects, and start killing all the way down to way back when they were shooting abortionist doctors. It's just idiotic. I don't want those dickheads. I don't want those people of hate getting that. A psych exam, a criminal background check, and a general overall background check to see as to whether or not there's any kind of a link to a terrorist organization or just a local domestic thug clique. All of these things are good. And to say that there's a big mess and that we shouldn't trust the government for that, okay, again, that's just a politician. That's just some lazy politician that doesn't want to do his job. This guy, whoever the hell he is, he's just some lazy politician that doesn't want to do his job. He wants to make wild accusations about, he's just a guy that wants to make wild accusations. And it's about time that that we just started working with common sense. Gun reform. It's a good thing. Alrighty. Taking off. Y'all take care. Y'all take it easy. I just had to vent that out right there. Y'all take care. Take it easy. And we'll see you next time, eh? This is Chris. Chris's Comments. Signing out.